Why we are having the habit of the mouth breathing? Because when the patient practice mouth breathing, if we are having increased resistance through the nasal cavity, the first thing for any general dental practitioner for the stoppage of any habit is that you should be able to differentiate that is this habit of the mouth breathing is because of the certain obstruction. And this is the first thing that you will be developing. First of all, you will be determining is there any disturbance in the nasal passageway or not. What you will do, you will bring a mirror test. What is the mirror test? In the mirror test, you would be placing a mirror just over here, so you could see the is there any airflow or fog on the mirror or not. Secondly, you could place some cotton over the nares. So if you are having the nasal flow from the nasal cavity, you would be having distortion of the cotton buds. Thirdly, what you can do, if you want to have, if the nasal, if you crudely want to analyze that the nasal passage is working or not, just ask the patient to have a sip of small amount of water and keep in mouth for certain minutes. After 5-7 minutes, if the nasal passage is completely blocked and the patient is carrying something in the mouth just like water for 5 to 10 minutes, then after 5-7 minutes you would be observing some discomfort in the child because he would not be able to breathe through the nasal cavity. So in the last, you can observe the nares. For example, as you have can if the child is running very fast, so he would be breathing in a way that the nares would be constricted on inhalation, just like this. Can you observe this? So you see, okay, with the passage of the air, you would be having certain constriction of the nares. So by observation of the constriction of the nares, by the water test, keeping the water in the oral cavity for certain minutes, by cotton roll test, or by having the mirror just in front of the nares, you would be able to differentiate that the nasal passage is blocked or not. However, please note my point very carefully. You are not the judge to diagnose and differentiate. These are all just the raw features and basic screening questions. It is the ENT specialist to whom you will be referring the patient for the evaluation of the nasal passage. Okay, I am just making my point very clear. You are not the best person to diagnose is there any nasal obstruction or not, or pharyngeal obstruction that is leading to the habit of the mouth breathing. You would be referring, if any doubt, to the ENT specialist for the proper diagnosis. So, however, coming to the more theoretical aspect, the mouth breathing could be due to the obstruction from the nasal cavity, and you could be having the habit of the because of the habit. In the habitual, you would be having the patient is just breathing through the mouth, or you could have an anatomical situation if the upper lip is very small in the size and the patient has to breathe through the oral cavity by by the anatomical restriction. As you can memorize these obstruction by mnemonics tip to दे, यानी कि आप किसी जो है वो किसी होटल में गए हुए हैं और बैरे ने आपके जो है वो कमरे में सामान रख दिया हुआ है और अब वो आपको कह रहे हो टिप तो दे, मतलब आप टिप तो दे में T for enlargement of the turbinates, I for the chronic inflammation of the nasal mucosa, P for polyps, TIP, enlargement of the nasal turbinates, chronic inflammation of the nasal mucosa, nasal polyps, localized tumor है, obstruction, adenitis, deviated nasal septum, and an allergic reaction of the oral mucosa. Have the habit of the mouth breathing. In the mouth breathing, you will be looking, first of all, you will be observing is there any nasal obstruction or not. And nasal obstruction can be caused by so many these features that is written over here. You can have the habit. In the habitual, the patient is breathing through the oral cavity without having nasal obstruction. Okay, and in the anatomical reasons, you would be having a small or size of the um, upper lip. That's why it has to breathe. The features of the mouth breathing, you would be having certain intraoral and extraoral features of the mouth breathing. For the extraoral features, the patient is breathing through the mouth. Okay, so what happened? The position of the lower jaw dropped down, and the position of the tongue basically dropped down. So when the position of the lower jaw is down, position of the tongue is down, and sometime in order to increase the airflow, the head is tip upward, tip back. So what happened? The head tip back, the jaw, drop down, the position of the tongue lower down. So this will lead to the change in the soft tissue behavior and increase in the oral facial height. So the common sense says, if you are having the drop down lower jaw and the lower position of the tongue, this will lead to the tightening of the facial muscles. So what happened with when the facial muscle will get tight, you will be having long and narrow face, you will be observing narrow nasal passage, and especially the buccinator muscles and this or facial muscle will flaccid, and you would be observing the expressionless face of the oral cavity. So what happened, as the posterior teeth will be slightly away from each other, this will lead to the over eruption of the posterior teeth. So over eruption, the mandible will go downward and backward, leading to the increased overjet. And as you know, you have breathing through the mouth. So if the air is touching to the interior part of the oral cavity, so this will lead to the inflammation of the gums, especially of the anterior teeth. So how you will be treating? First thing first, you cannot treat a patient of the mouth breathing if there is nasal obstruction. Okay, you have to treat the nasal obstruction first, then you can start treating. You can only treat the habit of the mouth breathing if it is due to the habit. You can just intercept the habit, and in the absence of the nasal obstruction, okay, you can use RME if it is needed.